What's happening? This is Wilson Jet, and welcome to my review of the AUG A3 post-patch 1.07. In this video I'll be playing on Seine Crossing using the AUG with a red dot sight, foregrip, and suppressor. I'll be talking primarily about the major change to the weapon in the latest patch, and the use of the AUG with the suppressor. I feel that the suppressor as an attachment has made a big comeback in the world of Battlefield 3. A few patches ago, DICE nerfed this particular attachment to the point where it really wasn't viable. It was tough to be competitive. But sometime after close quarters, they buffed it once again, and now I'm seeing more and more of my opponents using a suppressor on an assault rifle as their go-to loadout, even on maps like Seine Crossing and Operation Metro, where you generally expect your enemies to be using their quote-unquote try-hard kit, something like the M16A3 or an M416 or AEK. Whenever I am choosing a weapon, I tend to ask myself two questions. How likely am I to stay on target, and will I be able to kill my enemy before they kill me? For the first question, there are several factors you need to consider. One is the bullet velocity, the second is the recoil, the third is the spread. In terms of bullet velocity, the AUG A3 really shines as the best bullet velocity among assault rifles at 670 meters per second, which also gives it the best effective range at 1,005 meters. What does bullet velocity do for you? Basically what it means is when you squeeze the trigger, the bullet is very likely to land in the vicinity of where you have aimed. It will probably appear nearer your reticle. You're not going to have to account as much for distance and drop or lead your target. So a high bullet velocity is good, makes you more accurate. The second number is the recoil. The AUG A3 is tied for the best in terms of vertical recoil at only 0.2 degrees. The side-to-side recoil is not so hot. It's 0.3 to the left, 0.4 to the right for a range of 0.7. But as I've stated in previous videos, I never really noticed the horizontal drift too much. It's the vertical recoil number which is most important, because this determines the amount of input adjustment that I need to make. It also affects the use and the feel of the weapon more than any other statistic I feel. And this is the number that DICE has decided to change on the AUG in the latest patch. There's another recoil figure called the first shot multiplier. It used to be 3, and they've reduced that to 2.6. Doesn't seem like a lot. It's subtle, but if you think about it for a moment. Prior to the last patch, with a first shot recoil multiplier of 3 and a vertical recoil of 0.2 degrees, when you would squeeze the trigger, there would be 6 degrees of lift between your first and second shot. With a first shot recoil multiplier of 2.6, multiplied by 0.2 degrees of vertical recoil, now there is only 5.2 degrees of lift. So this has dropped from 6 to 5.2 degrees between your first and second bullet, which is pretty significant. The third number is the spread. AUG has a pretty good spread. When standing still, aiming down sight, it's only 0.2 degrees, which means that you'll have an extending cone of fire of 0.2 degrees, and that your bullet will randomly appear somewhere in that cone. The use of a suppressor improves 2 out of these 3 categories. In terms of ADS, it reduces that 0.2 degree cone of fire 25% down to 0.15. That's a great advantage. Secondly, it reduces the vertical recoil from 0.2 degrees to 0.18. So there is a 10% benefit when using the suppressor in terms of vertical recoil. Muzzle velocity suffers quite a bit. It drops almost 50% from 600 meters per second to 340 meters per second. Keep in mind everyone else using a suppressor is going to be suffering the same penalty. It may require a few more bullets to get downrange in order to put your target down. But because of the stealth benefit of the suppressor, you're likely to be able to accomplish that. On the maps where I choose to use a suppressor, maps where there's a lot of cover, there's a lot of tight alleys, plenty of corners to peek behind, the long-range encounter never really comes into play. So this doesn't bother me a whole lot. In terms of the second question, will I be able to kill my enemy before they kill me? Well, this is where the AUG A3 is a little funny. The rate of fire is 700 rounds per minute. Not bad, certainly not the best. There are plenty of guns out there that are faster. The FAMAS, the AEK, the F2000, M16, we all know what they are. The AUG is faster than things like the AK-74, the SCAR-L, the L-85, frankly the ones that people choose not to use as much. But what this does do for you, this combination of low vertical recoil, low ADS, high bullet velocity, and a relatively low rate of fire, the combination of all those things put together puts you right in the sweet spot. The gun is fast enough that you can be competitive, but it's not so fast that it drags you off target, which makes it ideal for quickly acquiring moving targets. Also, reload time. This is an important consideration when you're in CQB environments. It's 2.5 seconds for a partial magazine, 2.9 seconds for a full magazine. Not quite the best, but nearer the top than the bottom. The only guns that are faster are the M16A3 and the M416. So in this regard, the AUG A3 is pretty fast. But there's another important consideration here that a lot of people overlook. There's a third reload category called cancel reload time. The AUG A3 is actually the best among all assault rifles. It has a very short cancel period of only 0.72 seconds. For the M16, this figure is 0.85. What this means is, if I initiate a reload and I'm surprised by someone and I need to do something else, I need to whip out my pistol, I need to try to throw a grenade, how long is the game going to make me wait before I can actually do that thing? With the M16, it's close to a full second. When I'm using the AUG A3, I save a little more than 1/10 of a second. If I'm 1v1 with somebody, basically point blank, within 5 meters or so, that 1/10 of a second is going to be the difference in living or dying. And I actually get caught out quite a bit when I'm doing things like changing equipment, switching weapons, or in this case, trying to reload. I think what DICE has done here is emphasize the benefit of the bullpup design of the weapon, and they reflect that in terms of a short cancel reload time. A suppressor is really going to help, not only in terms of stealth and being hidden on the minimap, but also when you take aim at somebody, it takes them a split second to try and identify where you are. At this point in time, after Battlefield's been out for a year, most of us have hundreds of hours into the game, you're probably going to be able to drop that first enemy in the amount of time it takes them to locate you. You'll have time to choose a second target and maybe even put them down. When using a suppressor with an assault rifle that is deadly accurate, I am much more likely to get kill streaks. And as you see in this video, I had a kill streak there at the beginning. I got another one mixed in here. And from here, I'm just going to let this play out. We found ourselves in a little bit of a clan battle and had some pretty interesting moments here. We were working pretty good as a team. So I'm going to turn up the game sound and let you listen to the live comms here and some of the chat. Hopefully you got something out of this. I will be doing more aftermath videos, but I had this footage stored on my hard drive. I wanted to do something with it. Let me know what you think. Till next time, this is Wilson. Thanks for watching.
He's up in the building up there.
Where the heck's that coming from?
He's up in the building up there camping it.
Oh, I see. Well, he's a girl parent. You know the building start fighting like a real man.
We can't lose our eyes on the objective. We have taken the objective.
C4, you little pussy.
I just shot this guy right in the face, point blank.
What a little fag.
This is
Running around
pathetic.
throwing C4 down.
I almost got you. Is there anybody else up in there? Just that one guy.
I got him.
Tank just spawned at their deployment.
I repeat, the objective has
There's
been
another one in there.
I got him. Good call.
Oh, okay.
We have lost the objective. I repeat, we have lost
Who was
the
it?
objective.
Give me his name because random grenaded me. Oh my god. Thank you, sir. Oh, hell.
You know what? I'm gonna fix this guy's ass right here. Watch this.
Cody's getting fired up.
Y'all, everybody needs to run.
Oh my
Enemy
god.
gunner. Over.
If he's near, I'm gonna put landmines all over him probably next time we get over there.
Somebody. Dog tag B44 and then drop your nuts on his forehead. Because I'm tired of him running around with an MP7.
I'll do it. Because you know my nuts kind of hang low anyway.
We have neutralized the objective.
Courtyard. Revive me, Red. Revive me.
What?
Taken the objective.
I got a bunch of this.
Behind us, behind us.
Behind us, in front of us, behind us. B's just killed me with
damn it.
MP7.
Objective
In
neutralized.
my spot on ground.
Where'd he come from?